Hello and welcome back to my channel. So guys, it's yet another interesting TikTok video. Guys, I bring you this interesting video that I found on TikTok. We have this brother who's responding to this message. Guys, let me just go ahead and read it, and then so it reads, also, didn't Africans sell their own people to America as slaves? Okay, so this is like where everything started, and it got interesting when this brother here, it goes by the name Jeffrey Maid, when he responded to say yes, as in yes, they were sold to America by their fellow African people. Yeah, so this is where it all started. So let me just roll this video and then we'll talk from here.
Also, didn't Africans sell their own people to America as slaves? Yes, but Africans at that time didn't really view themselves as one people, right? So for the same reasons that Germans and the French don't view themselves as the same people, Africans at that time did not view themselves as the same people. I'm not even sure if they knew there were other races of people. So with that being said, right, they were capturing each other, enslaving each other, or capturing each other and selling them to other people for different types of goods. Now, does it make it right? No. Is there an excuse for it? No. Do many Black Americans a day want to just nicely gloss over that like that never happened? Yes. And again, so many people in today's society want to act as if white people were the only people to do anything bad ever, and that's not the truth. So for educational purposes, let's go through some history. Okay, so for starters, we all know what happened in Germany. We all know who did it, Germans. Okay, but what about the Armenian genocide in 1915 to 1923? Or the Rwanda genocide in 1994? Or the Cambodian genocide in 1975? Well, really, it was between 1975 and 1979. My point is, every race of people seemingly have done terrible things. So I do not understand why we only want to act like white people were the only people to ever do anything, because all you got to do is pick up a history book or Google some stuff and you will see that it's not even close to true. And I just gave you a couple examples. There are probably hundreds of them. So again, let's realize that all races of people have done bad things, and let's move on. Let's start building our lives together. It's not that difficult. I don't know why so many people want to complicate it and turn things that don't need to be issues into issues. Okay, and also go back to the beginning of the video, and when I was talking about Africans not viewing themselves as the same people, what I was trying to say is that skin color wasn't really something that tied them together, for lack of better terms. So it wasn't as much of importance then as it is today with a lot of races.
Just to give you a little bit understanding, a little bit details about this Jeffrey Maid. So this guy is almost like every Black person's enemy on TikTok. So he makes his content, I can say more on the white people's side and a little bit on the middle. I don't know. So you can just go ahead and search for him on TikTok. He goes by the name Jeffrey Maid. I like him. Yeah, I like him. He's cute. Yeah. I do like him. So yeah, so let's just watch the stitches, because when he responded to this comment on TikTok, people stitched this video, they corrected him. Let's just get straight into the stitches, guys, but I'm interested to know what you think about this video in the comments section below. So let's just watch the stitches.
Also, didn't Africans sell their own people to America as slaves? Yes.
Oh, stop right there. Stop right there. How are you going to say that Africans sold their own people into slavery? For starters, where did Africans put the money they got from selling slaves? When you use a Rwanda genocide to prove the fact that Africans hated each other, this is why they used to sell each other. But what you don't understand is every single tribal war that was in Africa was organized, funded, and sparked off by the white colonizers. European colonizers made sure that in order for Africans to be governed and sold, they had to be divided on tribal lines. For that fact, the belligerents in Rwanda made sure they categorized people according to their own appearances. The Tutsis were the bosses, were the leaders, while the Hutus were the subordinates. So what they do is they go to the Tutsis and tell them, you are the kings. They go to the Tutsis and tell them, those guys are kings, you need to become kings. In fact, these videos, you can look them up. The belligerents started measuring Rwandese according to their nose. The appearance of the nose tells the tribe, and then they issue a card or an identification to prove that you belong to this tribe and you belong to this tribe. And once they divided these people successfully, they started telling this side, you are the kings. This side, you are the kings. These people started to hate each other, and the hate is still on up to this day. When these Africans started hating each other, it was easy for them to be ruled and governed, and if there was a way how they could be sold into slavery, it was super easy. How are you going to blame that on Africans? Now, I have watched so many videos from your page. You sound super intelligent. I don't understand how you become so uneducated in this era where you can almost find the information all over your phone. It is no secret that Europeans don't want to take responsibility for what they did. So what they do is they're playing a blame game by blaming Africans that they sold their own people. I want you to tell me which race took another race as slaves. I just want you to tell me which race was taken as slaves by black people. How are you going to say the misunderstandings between black people is the same as being taken as slaves by another race? So, for your education purposes, the Rwanda genocide of 1994 was a symptom for a disease that was bled in 1950 by the white colonizers, aka the Belgians. Now, I don't know so much history about African American. I've just read and I've seen African Americans saying that during slavery, there were two types of slaves: the house slaves and the field slaves. The field slaves were the rebellious ones. That's why they had to work so much, grind in the field. The house slaves were the ones who were pleasing their master. They're saying when the master was sick, all the slaves would say, "We are sick." You sound like one of those people.
Also, didn't Africans sell their own people to America as slaves? Yes.
No, sir. First, Africa is not a race. It is a continent with many races inside of it. And all life originated in Africa. I am no more African than a white person. Second, who are we talking about that got sold into slavery? We're talking about people that are called the N-word. This word right here, which referred to Simeon, who was an Israelite, which refers to us here in America and those of us who are scattered throughout the islands. When you accept the identity of Israel, it gives you insight as to why we were sold into slavery. For disobeying the Most High time and time again. He sent us into Egypt again for us to be sold unto our enemies. What confuses people is that the Egyptians were also people of color. But your color has nothing to do with your race. In fact, the Egyptians were the very first nation to enslave and oppress Israel. That's the entire book of Exodus. Because we continued to disobey the Most High, even after He saved us, magnified all the other nations of the earth against us. Throughout history, we've been enslaved by the Arab nations, the Asian nations, other tribes in Africa, like I've said, greatest of which being, white people. But here's the kicker. When Christ returns and comes in the clouds, it says that the other nations of the earth, the other tribes, shall mourn. They shall wail. They're gonna cry because they know what they've done to us. So when a black man comes back in the sky, redeem those of his people who choose to serve him and to follow the Most High, everybody's gonna know what time it is. A short answer, nah. Nobody sold their own people into slavery. It's fucking crazy.
Also, didn't Africans sell their own people to America as slaves? Yes.
Okay, so let's say that's one way to look at it, right? Africans were enslaving other Africans. This was a kind of normal thing because those people were not to be sold. They were to work in these other communities as part of a reparation for a war that happened. But let's look at it in your perspective. Africans sold other Africans. Whose narrative is that? Just think about it. Who started that narrative? Because at this time, Africans were not allowed to write, to tell, to do anything. But then we want to believe this narrative. Also, if you're talking about the Rwandan genocide, you have to think about what instigated the war. Wasn't it Belgians? French? Up to today, during the Rwandan genocide proceedings, the French is partly to be believed of what happened. And the Belgium, on the other hand, is what caused Rwandese people to kill each other, because at the end of the day, Rwandese people are the same ethnic group, the same tribe. It's not a different thing. It's not like Kenyans who are Luos and let's say Luyas. In Rwanda, Hutus and Tutsis same people, speak the same language, practice the same everything, except ask the Belgians.
And that's all I had for you guys in today's video. Please leave your thoughts in the comments section below. I will definitely see you in my next video. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please guys subscribe, turn on your notification bell so that every time I upload a new video you will be notified. Peace.
You would go and misbehave.